This is Miriam again. I know that I previously talked about making a video on what college is actually like, especially for those of you who are thinking about going to a big university. What I mean by that is a state university. So I went to the University of Florida. I went to UF. And I didn't do dual enrollment really back in high school. I think I took like one class or something. And so I did all of the 4 years of college at UF. And each year was something different, something new, something totally unexpected. Um, Now, I was a totally different person going into college and then coming out from college. I would probably say that my personality changed a lot. How I thought changed a lot. And taking criticism and giving criticism was also a big part of those 4 years. Because when you sit in on college classes, especially if you're in the Department of Liberal Arts, you're gonna hear things. You're gonna um, hear what your teachers say and sometimes not agree with anything they say. And that makes things a lot more difficult. It makes things a lot more challenging because then your essays are going to be either, okay, do I risk writing what my opinion is and maybe getting a bad grade because of that? Or do I go with whatever the teacher is teaching and go with that? And then get a good grade. So I think the biggest thing that you have to be aware of as a person who is thinking about going to college, about to graduate high school and go to college, or even thinking of going back to college, is that um, the first year is going to be so hectic regarding picking majors. Guys, college is not easy. Um, Now, community colleges differ from state universities. Some of you guys might not like hearing that, but it's true. Um, Community colleges, not that they're not as challenging as state universities, but they're a lot smaller than state universities. And so there is a lot more attention on you as the person in community college, and the courses are a lot catered towards you, the student. State universities are not like that at all. State universities don't care at all about you. They don't care about whether or not you're a certain type of personality and you can't do this kind of course. It's this. Either you drop out within the first week or two. I know at UF it was the first week, and I actually hated that. I hated them making us pick a class within only 1 week. I do wish it had been 2 weeks. And also professors, you really have to reach out to them, especially in big classes. You have to reach out to them, you have to tell them who you are, you have to do all of that, especially if you want a letter of recommendation later on. But just for the sake of passing the class, you have to make yourself known. And I know that at UF, things differed in the more technical courses, the more technical majors, versus the more liberal arts majors. For instance, my husband, at the time, he was my fiance, he majored in computer science and mathematics, and he had no relationship whatsoever with his professors, just because those classes are huge. And with technical courses, there's no room for really disagreements on anything because they're technical. They're teaching you how to do something. They're not teaching you about philosophy. They're not trying to make you into the scholar. They're just literally teaching you how to do something, and then testing you on it. Versus my courses, which were in the more liberal arts area. I was a linguistics major, but I didn't start out that way. Um, Being a linguistics major, it's actually linguistics is more technical than people think it is because they're also teaching you how to solve problems like regarding syntax and how to structure and how to structure strings together. string of words together. And so they are more technical, but because linguistics has a sociological aspect to it, there's always some form of a disagreement in the classroom happening. Now, the fact of the matter is, if there are disagreements, a lot of students don't voice them out. The teachers will, and the teachers will dominate the classroom because they're the ones giving you the information, they're the ones who have authority over you. And that's good because you should respect that authority. But you still have to speak out and say what you think, especially if they're opening a room for discussion. So before I was a linguistics major, I was kind of picking classes, trying to figure out what to major in. It was a whole process. It was the most difficult process of my college experience. And taking certain courses like literature classes and education courses really just made me see the world in a whole different way. Not just because of the content they presented, but because of the teacher's opinions, because of the TA's opinions, and that they really do try to teach the class based on their opinions. And now they opened, a lot of them were great with opening up room for discussion and with trying to get the student to talk more and voice out their opinions. And so I don't think I've ever had anything too major with failing something just because I disagreed with the professor. But it's a challenge because if you have a small classroom, these are not technical courses. Literature classes are not technical at all. But if you have a small classroom, I think one of my classrooms was like 10 students, and the teacher is saying something so extreme and so totally just not true, really. And I had to be the one that voiced out my opinion, and no one else in class backed me up, even though there were other students who agreed with what I said. I found that out later on. And it's scary, and sometimes you even get embarrassed. But I would say that I'm so glad that I did that. And you have to be aware of that as a student who's going into college. You have to be aware that there are going to be different opinions. You're going to get challenged, and you should take those challenges. They will grow you as a person, and they will grow your thinking and how you view the world. So there's that aspect of college. And then, like I was saying, picking majors was the most difficult thing for me. I think I wasted so much time trying to force myself to like a major just because I thought, oh, I'm totally going to get a job right afterwards after I graduate. Don't think that way when you go into college. Please don't think that way. That is the worst thing you can do to yourself, because college is never supposed to be about that. Education is never supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be learning how to think critically, and applying that thinking skill into real life, whichever job you get. And you don't have to stay in one job throughout your entire life. I don't think very many students realize that. You will change. You're going to be 18 years old most likely when you go into college. I know that someone I know, she is a little bit older, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do when she went into college, when she decided to go back to university. And that turned out great for her because she's just like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do. Here's the certificate I want to get. Here's the degree that I want to get. Here's what I need. But if you're going in 18 years old, you're not going to know that. And take the opportunity, take the chance to talk to different teachers and see what they think. A lot of times, teachers either will regret what they majored in, or they have just a lot more experience from being in the education world for so long. Talk to them, ask them what they think. Because guys, college is difficult. It's so difficult. I mean, I think for the past 4 years, I have ran on drinking so much coffee, not eating enough, and staying up late and getting maybe 5-6 hours of sleep each night. And 6 hours, I usually aimed for 6 hours. I was okay, I need 6 hours so I can function. And it's difficult. It challenges you in so many ways. And I'm totally the type of person who will say, go, get out of your house, get out of living with your parents, and go and go to college and get challenged in that way. Besides all of that, there were so many great things about college, so many unexpected friendships that formed. And towards my senior year, I actually met my now husband. So it's definitely, there's so many great memories, and you're gonna think back on them and you're gonna be like, I'm so glad I went to college, or I'm so glad I didn't, depending on who you are. So this is basically just telling you the reality of college. This is kind of a short video actually for everything that college is. But if you have more specific questions, message me, comment below, feel free to ask anything. Again, it's not just about your major. It's about the whole entire college student life as a whole. And you will go through so many different challenges. It's not, I think high school really underestimates what college is, and they try to push students who don't want to go to college or who would rather do something else, but they try to push them to go to college, and they don't realize that college is just not for everyone. There are other things you can do besides that. It's not the end-all be-all. Especially if you already have a job, or if you already think that you can gain a skill working somewhere else or doing whatever. Do that instead of force yourself to go to college. But college will also make you a lot more flexible as a person, a lot more, it makes you work. Like, I had to work for 3-4 years, while also being a student, and so it just makes you more flexible, makes you much more responsible. It changes you, it really does. I can at least speak that for myself. So if you have any of your experiences you would like to share, if you have anything that you would like for me to talk about specifically, comment below. Tell me what you would like to hear. Ask me questions, and also tell me some of your experiences. I can definitely read those on my next videos. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.